Hello, I'm Bryan Hutcheson, Sheriff of Rockingham County in the city of Harrisonburg, and thank you for joining us for this week's segment of the Rocktown Crime Report on rocktownnow.com. Today's Friday, March the 21st, and we're going to if you saw the last segment, we talked a little bit about crime trends and some arrest numbers. If you didn't see that, check that out. You can go to rocktownnow.com, the local tab, the crime tab after that, I think, and you should be able to see that. But we're going to not touch on that for a while. We're actually going to, with the springtime weather, we're going to give it a little bit more time before we go back and look at those numbers to see if maybe the weather affects what we looked at in the last segment. So we're going to put crime trends and arrest numbers aside for a little bit, maybe let them marinate a little while, and then we're going to revisit them and see what kind of developments have happened. But what we want to do today is start off with the question of the week. Had a great one come in to rocktownnow.com, and so we'll start right off with that. And that question we got was, what are the current laws regarding loud and disruptive noises from vehicles hot rodding, especially in the Route 33 area? So, and maybe that's already an impact of the spring if we're having a little bit of that. But a couple layers to that question we kind of want to touch on in answering it. First off, and we'll put some of the code sections, the relevant state code sections that come into play here. The first you can see is 46.2, exhaust system in good working order. So by state law, as you can see, kind of glancing at this, it's the exhaust system must prevent excessive or unusual levels of noise. That exhaust system shall be as a type installed as standard factory equipment. And so that code section there too is interesting because it was a primary offense some time ago, and then the legislator there in the legislature in the state changed it to a secondary. Primary means you can get a ticket just for that and that alone. It got changed a few years back to just being only a secondary, which means you have to be stopped for something else, another violation, in order to be cited for the exhaust system. And then I guess within the past couple of years, it went back to primary. So that section you're looking at there is now a primary um, code section, in that law enforcement can stop you and cite you for that and that alone. So that's one section that could come into play with what that question is relating to. Let's put up another one that maybe could come into play too, with kind of the hot rodding element that was referred to there. And you see that code section refers specifically to racing. And that's on any two or more on any highways in the Commonwealth, that racing is going on. That code section could apply, and that could be just from stoplight to stoplight on Route 33. So that's a enforceable code section, primary offense there for sure. And then the kind of the catch-all, the one that catches everything you see here, is the general rule for reckless driving. So irrespective of the maximum speeds, any person who drives a vehicle recklessly on the highway is potentially guilty of reckless driving and can be cited for that. So those are some of the code sections that could apply. We also wanted to kind of touch on maybe a couple other elements to that, which is, if you see that going on, you observe that behavior, report it, call it in to us. The more specific information you can provide to ECC, to the dispatch center, the better. Vehicle make, model, color, if you can identify the driver, direction of travel, any of those things, the more specific you can be in relating that information to us, the better. And then also, we would encourage you strongly not to confront or engage with that driver. It's one of those things that's not going to be a good thing. If someone's out there operating their vehicles recklessly or carelessly on the highways, and you confront them, they're not going to say, "Oh, you have a good point, and I'll follow what you're saying." I mean, that's never happened in the history of ever. It's only going to escalate that whole thing more, right? You're going to have a confrontation, road rage, and all that, and we don't want that. Ignore the ignorant, report it in as specifically as you can, and then hopefully we'll have somebody close by, law enforcement can enforce those possible code sections that could be coming into play. So great question. Always love the questions. Thanks for putting that in. rocktownnow.com. Send them in to them. We love the questions. Check out that app, Rocktown Now, if you don't have that yet. Next thing we're going to go to, kind of as promised, with spring coming, we're going to do a special feature on our motorcycle units, which we already have out, and we're going to have out more here now coming with the good weather. And so, as promised, we're going to do a little demo. We're working on that along with a friendly competition. What we wanted to do today, though, is maybe set the stage a little bit. We're going to go out to the lot where we do some motorcycle training out in Elkton, and let you kind of take a walk through. We're going to walk you through that course and see the cones, and hopefully that street level view of the course that they're going to be doing the demo and competition on. That street level view will let you see exactly how tight some of those twists and turns are. I mean, it's not recreational motorcycle riding. It's pretty, pretty intense, and a lot of things that come into play there. So we wanted to just show you, maybe set the table a little bit for what's to come. We're going to have that in future segments, but today it's going to set the table. We'll walk you through it. It's safe to say, bear with us, because I feel pretty confident in saying it's going to take longer to walk through it than it's going to for them to ride through it. So check that out. We're going to take a little break. We'll head out there and pick up the little demo or the walkthrough here out in Elkton, and we'll see you out there. Okay, we're out here in Elkton. This is where we do a lot of our motorcycle training, and for today's segment, we're going to take you on a walkthrough of the course that we're going to have our motors doing a little demo and friendly competition on here in the upcoming segments in the first few weeks. So I got my man Lieutenant Fox running the camera right now. He's going to do you a quick walkthrough of this course that they'll be riding motors on here soon. He's going to take it off right now with you.
Okay, double cones will be the start. You will enter the circle. You will complete 2 revolutions. Double cones, we will exit into the next course. Follow this course to the far end. Go around these cones here. Back to the far end again. Around these cones. Into the circle. Complete 2 revolutions. In this circle, we will exit this cone course here, and then proceed through the cones to the next course. Double cones is where we'll enter. Here you will follow the cones to the right. Around those cones, back out. In that room, back out. In that, and back out. Back to the entrance, and then you will come up here to the exit. Into the next course, which is 3 circles. We'll go around here. Into the next cone course, which is a circle. Into the next one. Complete that last circle, you will exit here. Follow the cones to the next course. Double cones is the entry. Through the double cones, around. Back through the double cones, around the other side. Exit that course to the double cones. Now we're going to run the last 2 cone courses in reverse to complete it. You'll re-enter the course we just did. Around this circle. Go around this circle. Around the final circle. Exit double cones, back into the next course. Follow the wall around. Once you complete all those rooms, you will finish here at the double cones, and this is your stopping point.
All right, that's a quick overview of it. We're going to see it in action next time. Thank you for tuning in to this segment of the Rocktown Crime Report. We'll see you soon.